So welcome everyone to our online yoga here at Bonnevaux. So we're just going to continue gardening in our bodies. I'm sorry that we had to stop the class last time, but they decided to test the alarm, which I was not aware of and which I couldn't stop once they had started. So I'm really sorry about that. And next week I'm on a break, so there won't be a class next week, but we'll remind you and then we'll pick up the following week. So let's start lying on our backs, lying on your own back. Let's just talk about a few basic, important, basic things. So the wonderful thing about lying on the floor is that the floor is hard and you're on the ground, you're not on a piece of furniture, and your nervous system recognizes that. And it's profoundly integrating and healing. So everyone on this planet should every day make their way to sitting on the floor somehow, even if it's difficult. Obviously not if it's impossible, but even if you're worried or it's a bit of a labor, you put yourself near the couch or you get a chair and you make your way onto your knees and to the floor. Because as you go down to the floor, you make very profound movements in the hip joints and in aspects of the spine and in the knees, the ankles. You're balancing. It's very important. It's just like every day we should raise our arms above our heads, at least 144 times 144 times minimum. Because we miss all of this. We miss all of this because of the environment we live in. And then not only going to the floor and sitting on the floor to have a cup of tea or to read or to watch 5 minutes of television is wonderful, but it's also wonderful to then decide to lie down on the floor. So let's start. There's so many different ways to begin and there's no correct way. You don't always have to bend your knees. You can also keep your legs straight like we did last time. But let's start today with our knees bent. And your arms a little bit away from your body. You know, if you practice a lot, don't be too tidy right away. If you get too tidy in an unaware way, you're actually whitewashing. You know, you're whitewashing the gunk on a wall. It's still there, but you've painted over it. You don't want to do that. So you want to get to the floor and give your attention to the sense of weight, the sense of your body's weight on the floor. As a real practical thing. So where do you go? Do you go to a place that's comfortable or painful? Is it your lower back or your neck or your head or your feet? And acknowledge, get used to noticing what's growing in your garden. Noticing what's happening. And the way to, let's say, to turn gravity on is to begin to move the head. Just a little easy wobble from side to side, oily. You let the head wobble. The mouth is soft and open. And you notice as you wobble the head, just notice how the head is moving on the floor, the neck, notice the rib cage. Notice and enjoy the asymmetry. Like I can feel that my left shoulder blade is much more, has a feeling of being more off the ground, whereas my right shoulder blade feels very flat on the ground and kind of, let's say, in the right place. So just notice that, and then the shape of your rib cage and the arch of your ribs up here where my hands are. Does it feel that they're, very up in the air, but relaxed, or very down? Do they feel pulled down, or just resting down, or floating up, or stuck up? So yeah, you can even put your hands on the arch of your ribs, this arch made by the lower ribs, where then the soft belly comes up. You can move your hands along this arch. It's called the costal arch. The costae are the ribs, and this is an arch made by the bottom ribs and the floating ribs here. And they join in the front, they arch upwards and join at the sternum and the xiphoid process, which is the little bit of bone sticking down. Yeah, you can squeeze your ribs together. They're very elastic, wonderfully elastic. Even if you're 500 years old, your ribs are still elastic to some degree. And then noticing the pelvis, the tailbone, the weight of all of that down there, the weight of your belly, of your guts on your spine, and then the legs, and then the feet. And then the arms. One arm may be turned more than another. One may feel much more on the ground than another. So noticing, and we can wobble the head every now and then. Okay, so you may need to go and get something for your head, which is lovely because that means you have to roll to one side, get up, go and get, like what I have here, a folded blanket. It's better than a thick cushion because you can't adapt a cushion. You can get a folded blanket or meditation zabuton like I have here, the flat thing, and fold it a little bit and lie back down and put your head on it and just notice the difference. And I'm resting my head and I'm wobbling. So a little support can be, also no support is wonderful, even if you really struggle with no support. A few moments with no support is good, but also some time with a little bit of support, more some days, less other days. Yeah, you don't want to be this high. You see how my head is? You don't want to end up like this, propped with your chin tucked in. And you don't want to be stuck if your back is really arched, lying like this, struggling. But a little bit of support helps you over time to release the relationship of the head to the chest through the cervical vertebra, the vertebra of your neck. Yeah, we're wobbling the head. You don't need to flatten the back of your neck and tuck your chin in the way I've just done. You don't need to do that. You do it a little bit. When we overdo it, we get into the habit, we actually interfere with the breath and the freedom of the life of your body. So, wobbling the head, letting the head be free. Wonderful. Always coming back to the sense of weight and how the breath is moving us. Noticing how things are shifting, where your attention is attracted to. Paying attention in this way is different from self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is a kind of rictus. Rictus. I don't know if the word rictus has ever been used in a yoga class before now. But in any event, I'm using it, and I'm saying it for the 4th time. Rictus. So self-consciousness is a kind of overall rictus of tension, because you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be looked at, you don't want to, and you're on yourself. But being peaceful and quiet, enjoying the taste of a mango or coffee, or sitting in the sun, or lying on your back like this, and observing and enjoying, that is not self-consciousness, that's awareness. And it's what we do. And we can choose, we can, if we have lots of space, we can be aware of every single part of our spine. If we're sprinting for the bus, obviously we put our awareness on something else, the potholes and the pavement and getting to the bus on time, the movement of our arms, getting there. Great. So now we're going to let the left leg come off the ground. So the right leg is bent with the foot on the ground. The left leg is folded, but you bring the leg towards you and leave the lower leg, the heel of the foot, dropping towards your bum. So there's no effort here. Yeah. That's good. Are you holding it? Or are you resting? Resting. Yeah. So if you discover that you're not resting, you can just use your hand to help you, right? Yeah, but you don't want to be actively flexing. Yeah, you want to be resting. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So then we're just going to let this leg, bent as it is, plonk the foot back on the ground where it was. That's it. That's it. Breathe, notice. And then the other leg comes up. So as the leg that is coming up begins to plan to make its travel arrangements for coming up, you put your attention on the leg that is staying on the ground. Okay, it's tricky because we normally put our attention on the more complicated bit, which is the leg that is moving and starting to do extraordinary yogic things. But stay with your attention a lot on the other one and let that one plonk. Okay, now stay with the leg that just plonked. Stay with the plonking leg as the non-plonking leg floats up. Beautiful. Stay rooted. Stay rooted. So you want to help yourself on this side, yeah, because the other one is much more able to bend. Yeah, so you can do a little bit of work with your arm. Is that okay? And wobble the head. And the mouth is open. Yeah, and you're breathing. And the leg plonks. And the more we release, as you plonk the leg, you should feel it ripple all the way through your body, right up to your head. And the plonker that plonked is rooting, and the other leg is beginning to lift up in relation to what's rooting. Yeah, just natural, easy. Noticing the bend in your hip, noticing the fold, noticing what happens to the pelvis on that side. Let the head wobble a little. And plonk. Yeah. Yeah. Yoga is for plonkers. Definitely. So then the leg that plonks is rooting and the other leg floats up. Yeah. That's it. See, actually now this is improving. It's just easy. Yeah, but continue to touch with your hand. Continue to just a little bit. It's not about bringing the leg towards you. It's about using the least amount of effort to make a fold where the belly meets the thigh. Deep fold, and then plonking. So let's so you don't want to start rushing and you don't want to forget the part that's rooting, but we're going to put our attention in the heavy rooting foot that's staying on the ground, leg that's staying on the ground. We're going to let the other one float up, and then we're going to let it drop, and as it hits the ground, we let that root grow as the other one floats up. So we're going to go for a bit of a walk. Plonk and walk. Drop that supine. Don't skip the moment where you really let go of the leg. Wait, and the other one goes up. And then that's it. Really let it drop and go. Yeah. And stay with the roots and enjoy the levitation. Stay with the roots. Yeah. That's it. No tension in the shoulders, very wide, heavy arms. So you are actually releasing but gathering. Releasing but gathering. Yeah, that's it. And Vanda Scarabelli had this wonderful way of observing that in yoga, we're not creating attentional effort. We are gathering the body for that back bend or for that lifting arm or leg. In Italian, the word is raccogliere. It's almost like harvesting. That's it. So we're not pulling and pushing and creating knots of tension. We are rooting and flying. And as you root, you get this possibility for another part to fly. And as another part flies, we discover how deep our roots are going. And it's not a head trip, it's not a judgment, it's not a shake, you're not looking at yourself. You're very near to yourself, and you're moving, you're being moved. Beautiful. You've stopped plonking. That's better. That was better. Yeah. Off you go. And then the other one goes up. And then drop it. Yes. You feel the difference? Drop it. So you're not still holding in the quadriceps and the front thighs. You're not throwing. You're just dropping it. That was good. That was good. Right. Dropping it. Great. And now, as we drop the leg, we make a sound. Beautiful. And then beautiful. Beautiful. And then rest with the legs, but make a few more long, heavy spine, feet on the ground. Wobbling the head. You're not pushing. That was beautiful. That sounded good. You're not pushing. You're just allowing the voice to come out as we resonate. as though all the chambers, let's say, in the body, and the dense vibratory bits and the air spaces inside the bones, they all resonate. All the water is vibrating and resonating. So we're just going to let the right arm travel up from the fingertips. So you can see, if I don't do that, I lift from my shoulder, which is a beautiful but different movement. We want to, as the fingertips go up, the forearm is still heavy. The elbow is still heavy. As the forearm goes up, the elbow is making roots. As the upper arm goes up, the shoulder blade is making roots. And then I drop the arm by releasing in the shoulder. And we just let it fly and let it drop. Let it fly. Even the shoulder blade can fly up and then let it drop. Try not to throw the arm or carry the arm down. Just, it's like you turn the energy off and the arm falls. And then we do the left one, noticing the difference. Try to notice how we put all sorts of extra tension elsewhere, often when it's not needed. Like you could be tensing your jaw or your eyebrows or your buttock. It's not needed at this moment. Really drop the arm. Really let the arm fall through the elbow. Yeah. Great. And now, like we did with the legs, we're going to quietly alternate the arms. So as the left arm is rooting, the right arm is flying. And then the right arm is rooting and the left arm is flying. And stay with a sense of the rooting as you enjoy the unfolding of flying. Stay. So what happens, which we learn as little babies, we start to realize that we are building, not just we by ourselves, but we in this beautiful world with gravity, space, and time. As we build roots, we elongate with wings. As we elongate with wings, because the world is deep or rich or wonderful, or I want to go over there and give you a hug or a slap, or I want to catch your attention. You know, as we play in the world, we are building roots through the sense of weight and elongating or lifting or opening. Yeah, and very often we forget that. So what we do is we just do attention. We make attention to pick up the cup of coffee or to caress the beloved or to push the car door closed or whatever it is. But I'm rooting on one side as the other arm is flying. And so root, drop, fly through the fingers. Great. And we just make a sound, a sound. Yeah. So most of you will have 4 limbs. If you have less or more, then adapt. But you're going to root and fly with any of your 4 limbs. So it could be one arm and then one leg, and then one arm and then one leg, and then an arm and a leg. Yeah. Do not start grinding your teeth. Do not get yourself a dentist bill while doing yoga. It's not worth it. Arm, full leg, arm, leg, 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 arm, arm. Keep staying with what's on the ground as the melody of what's flying takes off. Yeah. Stay with what's on the ground. Yeah. 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 The flight of the bird, the lark ascending, is so beautiful also because we're on the ground. Yeah. That's it. Then you can have two parts going, all four going, one part going, and we're going to add the arms and legs and yeah. Sounding, listening for the resonance. Beautiful. Movement, resonance, sound. This is looking great. So the more you have a rooting part, the freer you are to move where you're moving. Especially when this one is flying. The more you have a rooting part, that's it. The freer you are to move in here, and then dropping it, plonk. Flight and drop. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, and then just be for a bit. Just rest, just feel what's changing, what you're now aware of. Okay, so we're going to, if you've been on the floor too long, you know, just roll over on your side and get up for a bit, or just hang out for a bit and then come back. But we're going to do one more thing on the floor. You're on your back, your arms are wide, your legs are bent. And we're just going to let the legs fall to one side. We've done this many, many times. You don't need to move your leg and put one on top of the other. Just let them, leave the feet where they are and let the legs fall asymmetrically. It's like squashing a shoebox onto one side. Breathe and just let the weight of those parts work through the body. And then we're going to bring the legs back, go the other way. Wait for, you know, if you ever feel that you're holding or stuck or squeezing, just wobble your head, because it shines a light on all that kind of extra tension. It's because you stimulate the inner ear organ, which is your gravity organ, and it's easier to notice what you're up to. So we're going to go to the other side. And then we're going to go to the other side. And you can see that I'm kind of leading with the leg that's higher off the floor. So my left leg, and then I roll, and then my right leg, and then I roll, and then my left leg. And now as I go, I'm going to let the top leg get as far away from the bottom leg. Here I am there. My right leg is far from my left. And then I roll over. And then my left leg goes as far wide away from my right, and then I roll onto my left side. So letting it, don't force it, it can feel quite strong at its extreme. And Great. So if your legs slide away, bring them back like mine were. So just let that really roll around. So really let yourself roll. Don't rush. Don't use too much muscular tension. Just rolling from one side to the other across your bum at the back. Okay, you may need to watch this. Let's see, I'll tell you what I'm doing. But as here I am going to my right, and as I go to my left, I'm just going to let my right arm come with me. So then I'm going to roll, start rolling to my right. So my arms follow my body, but do it from your legs. Watch, if I don't do it from my legs, if I do it from my belly, it looks like this. This is constipated yoga. And it could lead to tremendous farting, which I don't know, that may be a good thing. So lead with your leg, see, and then let your arm follow. Lead with your leg and let your arm follow. And really roll onto your side. It's as if you were throwing a ball. Beautiful. That's it, Henriette. You've mastered that one now. Really let the arm, you can go above your head or you can throw it across the air. Yes, Karen, rolling. That's great, Carrie. You don't need to accelerate anything. Just find your way. So the legs go and then the arm follows. It's a bit late, but yeah. And then the legs go. Legs, and then the arm follows. Perfect. And then the legs go. And then that right arm follows. Really let your arm to shoulder, to ribs, to heart, to digestive organs, let it all move. Yeah. And now as the arm goes flying, we make a ha sound again. Ha. There you go. Beautiful. Ha. And then ha. Yeah. Great. How are you doing, Carrie? I wouldn't do the next one, so you might just have a break. Yeah. Have a rest. Maybe roll on your side or sit up. So you get off your back. Yeah. Okay, so we've done this before. We're just going to take it to the next level. So as you roll, you're going to come up like that. This is Henriette's koan. There we go. And then, so then you're up in this. Remember, we did this the other day. I think we did it after the class ended last time. So you're in this kind of half a swastika position with your legs. And then you go down via your elbow and you roll and you come up on the other side. Yeah, just that moment there, what you do. And then you go down, you roll, and you come up. And that's beautiful. So, and then just enjoy the oily, finding your way. And when there's a really clunky, sharp bit, try to just, don't problematize, just try to find out. So I'm going this way and then that way, and then I roll, and then my head, and then, is everything moving? Is there a place where I'm going all rigid because I'm worried or I don't know, or there's a black hole? And then, yeah, and then just, that's it. Just looking for the play, beautiful, the play of it, the play of it. Ha. So try and make a ha sound as you travel. That's great. And then really roll. Yes. So that's beautiful. In a way, it's like you're rolling through your back instead of moving through your front, which is what we do all day long. We have a front and we use the front to move into the world. here, it's like I have this huge back, all this back stuff, and that's what's moving. So it's like my back has eyes. My back, it's like I'm facing back into my back. I'm looking behind me. I love rolling on this floor that is made of pasta al dente and parmesan, or whipped cream, or whatever it is that you want to roll in.
It's funny that I just vaguely to remember I did this as a child. So
I'm sure you did this as a child.
yeah.
Beautiful, Karen. That's great. Rolling and coming round. Wonderful for the hips, for the shoulders, just for shining light and for not being only in the front of the body. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Just notice if you're overusing your stomach muscles, the lower ones, Henriette, because it's like there's a moment where you don't really know that you can come up, and it's fine, but then you use something else. So see if that's the only pathway. Or if you may need to move that leg, or, just see if there's another, yes, going. It's about here that you, yeah. That was better. Okay, how's everyone doing? All right. So, okay, so we're gonna go, let's go down. Let's roll. Notice where your head is. Notice how your chest opens. Notice the legs. We roll around. We're coming around. We're coming up to the other side. All the way up. And then just keep, so you're sitting, and you've come up, and then just keep looking around. So you keep it going. So at the end, it's the chest, the neck, the head, don't hurt or strain. That's it, open. Yeah, open, lengthen, open, it's rotating. And then we're not going to go back to the floor just yet. We're just going to walk around and look up the other way. And the breath and the length and the roots. And then we're going to come round. And this time we're going to add the arm as we look around. And this time we're going to roll down and go to the other side. And we're coming up. And we're looking around. So you want to lift and open all the way. Yeah, I just heard a huge clunk in my spine. Yeah, all the way. Yeah, not straining, but just noticing. And then we go around. And we look all the way the other way. So you don't want to strain with the eyes. It's the whole body that's participating in this torsion. Yeah. And then we come back. And this time we open with the arm. And then the arm gives us the impetus as we come down. And we roll through. And we come up and we look, lift, open. It's not a problem, just enjoy. It's wonderful to enjoy the bones locking together without thinking, oh, I'm stiff. It's not, it's a natural locking motion. Then we go this way. You will notice that there's less of that locking feeling from vertebra to vertebra, especially in your rib cage. And then we come back. And as we open with the arms, we let the legs come round. like this. Yeah. Great. And we just do this. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a marvelous movement. We've just been doing it lying down, but look, even in sitting with you can see that as my legs go that way, there's a moment where my back starts to arch, just there. And that's it right there. This moment where your back arches is a wonderful movement for the lower spine, for the lumbars and the sacrum. So this moment where that's right there, where it arches. If you have lower back injuries, these kinds of movements are so helpful. Yeah. And if you let your head drop back, don't pull it back, but just let it drop back and let your chest go up. Yeah. And then you come back. You know, like a sea anemone, it opens and then it pulls back. So when we do these movements lying on our backs, it's the beginning of fish pose, Matsyendrasana. But I've just invented the Bonnevaux anemone pose. There, you let your back arch, and it's like you're opening, just opening, you know, opening. We've been rolling around on our back. The back is the part that's rooting against the coral. The front part opens. You don't need to pull your head back, and then you go back and you go the other way. So now you come back. You're more flopped here, and then we open. Yeah. So you see, we're not arching the back. We are rooting in the back. We've been rolling on the back. But the chest opens from the inside, the space around the heart, the front of the back, the place where the organs of fermentation and digestion root back towards the spine in that long, endlessly long, wavy tissue called the mesentery. All of that, and then opening again, letting myself move like a seaweed, like anemone, and around. Yeah, beautiful, Henriette. And so the chest begins to move, yeah, and the shoulder joint, we'll do more of this, Carrie, later, but you are making a wonderful movement across the front of your shoulder. Good. Just take a moment to make sure you're still here, still alive, still contributing to world peace. Yeah. Is your shoulder better, Karen, since last time, or is it a similar story? Similar. Okay, so we're going to put the legs in front. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. So legs in front. Yeah, so do you want to sit up or are you happy resting there? It's up to you. Hands behind. Yeah, hands really supporting you, legs wider. That's better, that's better. Good, that looks good. And then just letting the legs wobble. Okay, and then bend the legs. Well, I would then lie down. We'll work on that together. Yeah. Yeah. Good. And just let your back hang back. Let it relax back. Let it relax back. So really feel this soft, curved place we're in. Okay, now we're going to move the hands pushing the spine. We're going to start to come up, start to lengthen, start to open. We're going to walk forward with the hands. We keep going forward. We keep going forward and up. I've come up onto my under knuckles. Yeah, so I'm up. Good. And then I release back again. So then I straighten my legs. And I come up again. So what we just did is to help us not come up this way, but come up this way. It's as if I'm lifting myself off my pelvis, which is what we've done in the standing poses. Yeah, so I come up to about here. You want to be comfortable. Then I take my left leg, let's say, and I bend it. Yeah. Simple and easy. Yeah. There's two variations in this one bent leg sitting pose sequence. One of the variations is where you keep your legs at a right angle, and the other one is where you widen them. So we're going to do the wider one. So you go as wide as you can. You bring your foot in as much as you can. You go as wide as you can. And the main thing is that the bent leg here, this knee should not be in pain. If it's in pain, you can support it a little bit, but more importantly, and way back last year somewhere, we did a number of classes where we looked at the inside of the knee, but you can support your knee by putting a sock there or your thumb and really supporting in there. A rolled up sock or a rolled up bit of your bathroom thing. What is it called in English? Bathrobe. You put the belt in there, and that keeps the knee open, because you really don't want discomfort here. That's never a good sign. Okay. So in any event, we're wide, wider and wider. And then you can adapt as you go, but then you want to bring yourself up on top. Yeah. So not this. This doesn't lead anywhere. But this, up on top. Up on top. Yeah. Then we put our hands here. And we turn towards the straight leg. Watch me. Don't go down, but staying up on top, we lean long and up on top towards that leg. You see, I keep adapting the leg a bit. I'm looking for a purchase to hook my heel, the back of my heel, into the floor. And I'm not doing this. I mean, you could do this, but it's not great for the lower back. It doesn't do much. You want to lift up and come forward. And forward and forward. And as you come forward, your other hand is playing and pushing that leg away. It's helping the leg to stay back. That's where you're rooting. This is where you're rooting. And this is where you're opening and lengthening and flying. That looks great. Are you comfortable and happy?
I am happy.
Good, and comfortable. Or do you want to get up and go
No,
for a
I
walk?
want to just lying on this side.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let's just give you, no, then just give you a bit of support.
Thank you.
Great. So we're going, it's me, going for your ribs. We're going up and forward. Yeah, do you feel that? Amazing. Up and forward. Let me grab your head. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And forward. Yes. up and forward, and then release. Come away, and you have the other side. Yeah, we can wobble a little. Then we bend the other leg. Yeah. Yeah. So it's very simple. First principle is wide. Next principle is something is going to stay rooted. Rooted. And then something is going to lift and go somewhere. So, and it's the reason we put the hand, look, is otherwise I end up like this. You see, I pull it all with me. And then this is a great way to make your lower back very unhappy. So instead we, you know, if you like doing that, I find it really helps me. I touch, I press, I'm learning, you know, I'm not performing a shape. I'm just kind of learning like what's, oh, that feels nice, or this, and just, that's it. And then, oh, then I discover my heel and the back of the knee can open. I notice that if I drop my head, my knee starts to buckle. So, well, so that's a choice. But if I lengthen the heel away from my sit bone and I lift, I notice actually my leg structures don't go into that flexi buckly thing. Up, long, 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 up and forward. My backhand is supporting me. Free in the head, breath, swallowing, maybe flexing the foot for a moment, rooting the sit bone. Yeah. You can reach across with the opposite arm to the area by the knee and lift the elbow so you don't pull down. Lift the elbow to go up and forward, or you can reach for the toe and again lift the elbow so you go forward. And if you notice, don't do the breath, but if you notice the breath has its own wave, and again, the breath is moving you. You're not moving the breath. I mean, you are, you're moving air, but we forget that this response to breathe, which is a chemical response called respiration, is moving the body. And so I notice that there are moments where I'm rooting more as I return to myself, and then moments where I'm opening more as inspiration is happening. Yeah, don't stay too long. And then just to integrate a little bit, we bring the legs together. Yeah, I think we did this yesterday after we closed the class because of the alarm, after the alarm stopped. So you let the feet come together and not too far away, because that's a different bony position. Relatively close, but I mean, as much as works for you. Then again, lifting yourself up. Letting the outside blade of the 2 feet touch and letting the medial blade, the inside blade or arch, separate. They separate from each other. Don't push the knees down. Your knees will go more or less down. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, and the more I lift, the more my pelvis and legs are learning, you know, what's possible. Off the ground, coming for wrong and new position. Yeah, wonderful. That looks great. Yes, great. Yeah, so the very short adductors, which are quite dense on the front, the pectineus and so on, that you're going to feel that whole band across your pubic bone quite strongly. So don't force, but that's it. Great. And then we're just going to close with a dog pose. So come around onto your hands and knees, toes, and going up, soft knees, come way up onto your toes. Really bend at the big toe. Let your hands root into the ground, and then it's not about straightening the legs first off or putting the heels on the floor. It's about really traveling up with your bum. Walk away a bit more, Henriette, with your hands. Yeah. So huge rooting hands, huge flying bottom. Yeah. And then wobbling the head and letting your, yeah. So bend your legs. Now, go up and drop this part. No, go up here. Yes, but come up higher. And yes, you feel the difference? You want to do it that way. The other way is really not helpful. Come higher on your toes. Bend and drop in here. That's it. No, it's tricky, but you get it right there. You feel the difference? That's it. So you're aiming up here with this, but you're dropping that. Beautiful. Big hands. Flying, flying. Ah. Ah. Great. And then we'll just lie down on our backs for a breath or two. Okay. Is that okay? Just hanging out? Yep. So straight legs. Arms wide. Are you okay on your back? Because you've been on the floor quite a bit. It's comfortable? Good. Wide, heavy, wobble the head, legs straight or bent, whatever you like. Heavy head, heavy head, heavy heart, heavy ribs, heavy shoulders. Heavy, heavy, yeah, heavy, breath, breath, water, yeah. You're just a pond with a big frog living in it. Just a pond, a beautiful pond. It's we really are like a pond, because when you come upon a pond, I mean, unless you're walking in a marsh, you're on dry land. And then you begin to notice that the world changes. It's becoming moist. And that's what it's like at the edge of our mouth or our nose or our eyes. We get these little openings of where the pond is. And then inside, miraculously, it's all water. And the visceral system, this long river of intelligent, membranous life, which was there long before your bones, that's the frog. That's the wise, meditating toad that's sitting there, waiting to catch the present moment with its tongue. Yeah. And so we forget. It's like the beauty of forgetting the bones. Forgetting the bones. Forgetting the bones. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of you. I always have a tiny peek at the list, and I recognize so many people. It's lovely to see you all, wherever you are in the world. So just reminding you that next week there won't be a class. Every now and then, if you could make a little donation, no matter how small, it's always very, very helpful. Just go to the Bonnevaux website and make a donation. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luc.
Thank